The Doherty clan, a family name that is one of the most ancient in Europe. The clan traces its pedigree through history, prehistory and mythology to the 2nd millennium BC. The Dohertys are named after Donoghue, a member of the Clan Fiann of the Connell sept of the Connell, which in medieval Irish genealogy traced itself to Niall of the Nine Hostages. There are around 250 different variations of the name throughout Ireland and around the world. There are also the Dohertys in Munster. This is often a different surname, which has sometimes been anglicised as Doherty in County Clare. The Connell, or kindred of Connell, are a branch of the Northern New Neil, who claim descent from Connell Govan, son of Niall of the Nine Hostages, and allegedly the first Irish nobleman to convert to Christianity, being baptised by St. Patrick himself. The Connell kingdom was known as Tyrconnell, with their power base in Mulgea in the Finn Valley. However, this gradually expanded to cover what is now counties Donegal and Fermanagh. The O'Doherty's ancient lands seem to be in the area of Ardmire or Ardmurren today, and recent studies done by the O'Dohertys and historians think that Dunwiley Fort could be the ancient O'Doherty fort. Their territory since the 9th century was originally in the Lagan Valley, around Raphoe of Donegal. Some of the clan eventually moved up the Inishowen Peninsula in the 14th century, founding other branches. The earliest mention of the surname in the annals is in 1180 AD. Although the clan was descended from kings, they never really contended for the kingship of Tyrconnell, with the kingship alternating between two rival branches of a subgrouping known as the Connell. Although in 1197 AD they held it briefly after wresting it from the Canning and the Muldory clans, but alas, it was never meant to be. After taking the throne, Echmacha O'Doherty was killed 2 weeks after opposing the Norman John de Courcy, who was plundering the area. Another member took the throne, Donald O'Doherty, Lord of Kinlania and Ardmire, and the barony of Raphoe, but the records state that Clan Daly had taken it by 1201 AD. Echmacha O'Doherty is also the ancestor to the Clans MacDade, MacDevitt and the Donegal MacBride septs, with the Gallaghers and O'Donnells being distinct kin. The Clan O'Doherty really came into prominence much later, becoming a clan that would embody the term fighting Irish. The clans of Kinaloan, the O'Neills and the McLaughlins had been fighting for centuries for supremacy in Ulster. In 1241 AD, at the Battle of Kimeriga, the combined forces of O'Neills and their old enemies, the Connell, led by the O'Donnells, consisting of many clans including O'Doherty soldiers, ousted the McLaughlins and destroyed their army, reducing their power to almost obscurity. The O'Dohertys, being kin and sub-chiefs of the O'Donnells, would allow them to take part in the politics that would take place within the royal court. They were in a very powerful position. The Annals of Ulster also stated a claim that few lords in Ireland had more subjects or a greater cavalry than he had, referring to Donald O'Doherty, Lord of Ardmire and Tirrena. This power took centre stage when they placed Angus O'Donnell into power in 1343 AD, and when the ruling chief of the O'Dohertys was killed in 1380 during another power struggle with the O'Donnells. During this time, the kingdom of Tyrconnell invaded the Inishowen Peninsula. In around 1350 AD, the land was given to the chief who executed this invasion, the chief of the O'Dohertys. They subjugated the local Kinloan clans who had held the areas for centuries, including the McDermotts and McFall septs. The O'Dohertys, like most chiefs at the time, retained a large amount of autonomy, creating their own laws. In exchange they paid rents to the O'Donnells and supplied men in the times of war. By the 15th century, the O'Dohertys had split into four main branches, alternating rule over the two titles the clan held. Although other branches remained, they were no longer considered to inherit the titles, unless another branch died out. This is explained in another video on my channel. In 1440 AD, the O'Donnells attacked the O'Doherty castle of Culmacrean, no doubt in an attempt to curb their growing power and bring them to heel. In 1526 AD, infighting in the clan started when a contention arose about the succession of the Lord of Inishowen. An outsider, Gerald Doherty, of the Doak branch of the Dohertys. None of the members of this branch had ever held the lordship of Inishowen. He was finally chosen, but not to everyone's satisfaction, for in 1537 his son Connell was killed by Rory, son of Phelim, of the main branch of Ela. On Gerald's death, the lordship returned to the Ela branch, where it remained until 1608, when probably the most famous O'Doherty, Lord Cahir O'Doherty's rule ended after the famous O'Doherty rebellion. Cahir, a son of Sean Og, often anglicised to John, and a daughter of Sean O'Neill, was born in 1587. Sean Og O'Doherty was often at odds with the English and his O'Donnell lords, having helped the shipwrecked Spanish from the Armada escape, then refusing to attend his Lord O'Donnell's inauguration in 1592. This put him in a difficult place. He and his son Cahir were arrested by the O'Donnells. His brother Phelim Og was inaugurated as Lord of Inishowen. Cahir, who like most Irish noble children was living with his foster family and kin, the MacDivits. In 1608, the new governor of Derry, an unpopular George Paulet, the governor declared Cahir was planning a rebellion. Cahir vehemently denied these claims and attacked the city of Derry, killing Paulet for this grave insult amongst other offences. Cahir, now a rebel, he then fled Inishowen. After the O'Gallagher clan refused to aid him, his kin, the MacDivits, joined the rebellion, but at the Battle of Kilmacrennan, he was killed and his army defeated. O'Doherty lands, roughly 170,000 acres, were confiscated, and the plans for the plantation of Ulster were doubled, as this rebellion, shortly after the flight of the Earls, only cemented the feeling that the only way to pacify Ireland was to fill it with loyal subjects. What followed was a very bloody history for Ulster, with wars, famines, religious discrimination and political unrest. Many O'Doherty stayed in Ireland, either within their ancestral land as tenants or moved further afield. In 1790, John, a minor, with his two brothers were sent to Spain, where John became a naval officer. The three brothers were granted arms by the chief heralds. His descendant, Dr. Ramon O'Doherty of Cadiz in Spain, was recognised as head of the family by the chief herald. He is a direct descendant of Cahir O'Doherty's brother Sean. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the video interesting. Please check out Donegal local historian Sorcerer O'Doherty and the book 7 Races of the Inishowen O'Dohertys if you wish to learn more. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you would like to hear the history of any other clans. Thank you.